Tom. And so anything from this point onwards will be recorded. I'm just going to give Tsholofelo a heads up. We are starting. She will find us ngendlela. All right. Everybody's sitting comfortably. Wonke umuntu grand is ready to do this, right?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. I just want to change the view so that we are all visible. Aha, this is better. This is much better. So, welcome everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We'd like to welcome you to yet another exciting episode of That's Deep. And today is a special one, isn't it?
It is. We would like to focus on the hand that gives. As normally we talk about those who are receiving, but today the spotlight is on the hand that gives.
Yeah, showcase. We know that it is Mandela Month, and of course during Mandela Month a lot of giving is happening, but like Ulisoko has said, Uguti, a lot of times we focus on the beneficiaries, but as a That's Deep, we've decided let us shift this and look at the people who are actually behind all these programs, behind all these projects. And we are joined by two beautiful guests. We are waiting for the other one, and we haven't even introduced ourselves.
I'm Lesego.
And my name is Londiwe. And we'll be hosting this together as we go forward, and we will be navigating and asking the question, what does it take for those who are in the NPO space to actually do what they do? Without wasting any more time, I think we should get straight into it.
All right. I would like you to introduce yourself and just give us 3 points about what you do in the space that you are in. Over to you, Karabo.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it's going to be a ladies first, but then I'll start. Hello, everyone. My name is Karabo Mohlala, founder and director of Rise Africa Care Foundation. In Rise Africa Care Foundation, we are an NPC that deals with skills development, social cohesion programs, and also we just ventured into climate change. So what we are hoping to achieve, or what we're doing as Rise Africa, is to empower, inspire, and develop our people or our communities.
Thank you for that, Karabo. Thank you for that. And I mean, I know, Obuti, the English needs to be at a very high level here because we're hearing terms that we're not used to. But I guess this is what we're here.
Yeah.
We are in a space where we are learning. And I'd just like to welcome Tsholofelo. She has just joined us. It looks like she's still connecting. So whilst we wait for Utsolo to connect, we will give Simphiwe a chance to tell us who she is, and in 3 points, give us an idea what she does in the NPO space.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Simphiwe Mnisi from As Anchor Consultancy. I'm a social entrepreneur, and what we do as Anchor, we bridge the gap between NPOs and donors. We are passionate about young people. We are passionate about skills development. We are passionate about sustainability and building sustainable policies and models that will empower our community and that will ensure that young people and the organizations that we work with are self-sustainable through agriculture, through ITC, and through other opportunities that are out there that will enable and give the founders the opportunity to channel their monies properly.
Thank you. And well, and as you said, sustainability, I hear empowerment from Karabo. Tsholofelo Sepharagathle, you are welcome. You find us in the middle of introduction. You can just hit it on.
Please unmute yourself, Tsulu.
You're on mute.
Am I audible now?
Thank you.
Well, we can hear you clearly now.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Sorry for coming in late. I had some connectivity issues, but thank you for the opportunity. My name is Tsholofelo Sepharagathle, aged 28. I'm from Mafikeng, born and bred here, and I'm a qualified vermiculturist. And my company is Mosadi Timo Organics, found 2021, but formally registered and started operating 2023. So what we do, okay, in layman's terms, what vermiculture is breeding or cultivation of earthworms. So I cultivate earthworms in producing organic fertilizers. So that's what we do. We produce organic fertilizers, and we also sell or rather package also the worms that we have bred. So my passion started from realizing that we are experiencing issues with regards to having your because of unhealthy living and unhealthy eating, we are experiencing a lot of diseases. So that's when I went to research on how I can produce organically, on how I can also produce your organic seedlings, your organic fertilizer, so as to I can teach your commercial, non-commercial farmers on how to start an organic gardening or an organic farm. So that's where my passion started from. And basically my enterprise is aiming to contribute significantly in alleviating this deteriorating state of security we are experiencing in our country, not only in our country though, worldwide, and also the climate changes. I wanted to curb, or I wanted to be of effect, but in a positive way with regards to your climate changes, because my kind of farming reduces your landfills, your carbon footprint, because our type of farming, I use no chemicals at all. Hence, I collect my own food waste. I collect food waste, and from collecting food waste, I breed these worms. And from breeding the very same worms, I make fertilizers, organic fertilizers from the very same worms.
Thank you so much, Tsholofelo. I think that is a mouthful, but if I can just share what I heard mostly is organic, sis. We're going organic. Yeah. That's the thing that I heard. I think that is the most important thing. I like how you've actually put it in layman's terms so that everyone who's listening can actually learn and know what it is that you do. Thank you so much for letting us know and those great introductions. If we had a live audience, we'd ask for a hand clap, but Mr. Muthabi is not willing to clap hands. So we'll move right into, you said I gag. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're not going to have to do that. Thank you so much, Simphiwe, Karabo, and Tsholofelo, for sharing with us what it is that you do. And from your introductions, we can tell the passion that is in what you guys do. And can I ask, Oguti, Tsholofelo has already mentioned this, maybe to Karabo and Simphiwe, where did the passion come from? Did it come from a course you did? Was it something that a parent or somebody has shared with you? Where did the passion to start the organization that you have currently come from? I'll start with you, Simphiwe, this time around.
Where did the passion come? So Inca was birthed from my years of serving in the NGO space. I've had the privilege to serve for 19 years, where I was taking care of vulnerable, neglected, and abused children. So throughout those years, you see the challenges that you face as an NPO and as an NGO, because there's a difference between the two. So we got very frustrated during that period of serving, with compliance, with donors, with management, and just getting funds as well, and ensuring obviously these kids are loved and these kids are well groomed, So having been exposed to both young and youth, then that's when I saw, see, the problem with NGOs not being so successful, it's literally because of management and its lack of funding, And then you find that the founders, the corporates, they've got the budget, they've got the resources, but they do not know how to channel them. They just give for the sake of giving, but they're not giving because of ensuring Oguti, these organizations are really sustainable, And then you find that an NGO, yes, is being funded for, they give the funds for a year. After 5 years, they still come back to the same company asking for donation, which then I saw, no man, there's a gap here. And the gap is that we need to meet the two. We need to be self-sustainable, because I was just frustrated going to corporate all the time asking for assistance, and it was like, no, this is not working for me. And if it's not working for me, I'm very I'm very confident and it's easy for me to get funds. But then I started looking around the organizations around us, and they were struggling, and they were really struggling badly. They could not keep afloat. And then that's when the idea was sparked. Ukuthi, you know what, you are serving, yes, but is this sustainable for yourself as an individual? Are you able to take care of yourself as an individual? And also, are you able to ensure with these children, after you have left in this organization, is still sustainable? What happens if the corporate is no longer around? Will you be able to stay afloat? And also, because with orphanage, after 18, the kids are forced to leave the system. So for us, it was they leave the system and go away, So then that's when we felt with no, 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 no. As anchor, we need to then come in and break the gap where the NGOs are able to still run their programs, because NGOs, I always say, they are the biggest employment creators, but unfortunately they are not recognized, because they are seen as just charity. And it's not just charity. If you can see the number of volunteers that an NGO can actually bring into the system, it's quite a big number, And then you find that the corporates are saying, yeah, we will just pay for food, we'll just pay for utilities. And then you're like, no, but why aren't you paying for salaries? And then that's when we thought, what, let us actually be that anchor. Let us be that anchor that keeps the NGOs and the corporate afloat and stable, so that NGOs don't get shut down because they don't have enough resources. And then you don't, corporates, they don't get their CSI, PBO status because they just give it for the sake of giving, but they are not ensuring that they are giving into programs that are sustainable, that they are giving into programs that will actually leave a mark in these young people, that we are empowering. So that's how it was birthed.
Thank you for that, Simphiwe. And I think one thing that is really undermined is the amount of work that non-profit organizations are doing, in the country, and in the world in general. I think the job of NPOs is very undermined, and it's taken as an optional thing where people, if they have something left, then they can sort of give to NPOs. So I love the idea of creating NPOs that are self-sustainable. I'll give Karabo a chance to answer that question about passion. Karabo, what is your story?
Well, my story it's quite simple. I was born and raised at Guatemala Springs Station 2. Then along the way, on my teen years, then I had then I had to move to Limpopo, Beresford. I would say it's a rural settlement.
Yeah.
Then when you get there, the things that you used to get when you are that side compared to this side, then now it becomes a bit of a challenge. That's where the Usimpi was speaking about bridging the gaps of NPOs in terms of this sustainability and other things. But then in my side, it's more of looking for the basic needs of a rural community. Our basic needs like adequate access to water, energy, we speak about land, health services, education system and transport services, but don't actually forget about one important thing, access to the market. So at the places like this, where we're at the rural settlements, we don't have those kind of things. I got here, yes, I was young, but then I could tell that the things that I used to see there, we had many active young people who were older than me, obviously, back in the days, they had experience, who would teach us about life things, they would teach us about development, they would teach us about social cohesion, they teach us about so many things within the school. That's where the education system comes in. But then when you go to rural settlements, the very same organization that has to actually help the schools in, what can I say, in upgrading the education system or making the education system better, the same organization, they still need what we call access to information. They don't have it. So it means now we're going to operate on a place whereby it's a little bit of dysfunctional. I'm sorry to say that, because of you can't get things done. Everything is just far-fetched when it comes to rural settlements and ama township. Then me knowing how things were done there, I just knew 20% of things. Then I had to research. And for me to say people they should do something, I rather do and then tell them to help me do something. Because if I say, this and that, and then we'll be complaining the entire 30 years to 50 years complaining about one thing. But if I at least reach a certain gap that I see with this one, I can actually manage it. For example, I started with organizing sports, and especially Guma indigenous things also. I started with those minor things, and then I help out ngama registration ngama universities. That's where I actually started. Then I noticed that, okay, this is a serious gap because almost everyone around here doesn't even know how to do that. It means now we talk about digital divide. Digital divide now comes in, it's a problem also. So each and every time when you lend a hand, you experience more challenges. But then if you go to Gauteng, when you lend a hand, you get more, not challenges actually. You might get challenges, but then you get more solutions. But then here it's more of, we are all alone. So I was like, no, let me be alone so that I can impact that knowledge to the other generation that is coming, young generation, so that we won't be complaining about one thing over and over again. So that's where the passion actually started.
Okay, thank you, Karabo. What I'm getting from the three of you is you are being the change that you want to see in the world. You know, you didn't sit back and say, who's gonna do it?
It's the government's problem.
You know, you decided to do it. I'm happy about that. And so what I will ask is that for you, do you see giving as a calling? Do you see it as your life purpose? Whatever your answer is about your line of work, please tell us why. So to help other people understand this area that you are in.
Before they answer, I just want to welcome Thembakazi. Thembakazi, you're welcome. We see you. We acknowledge you. We'll give you an opportunity to ask questions should you have any questions. Hala. Tsholofelo, you wanted to go for that question first?
Okay. So giving. There's a saying, because nake Motswana ngumXhosa and futhi I'm ke Motswana. So in Tswana, because ke kgoletse mo Batswaneng, mo Setswaneng ra re mabogodi nku a thebana. Meaning we need to be there for each other as people, right? And for me, giving back, it makes me feel like ke dira a big impact on someone's life, you know, and just encouraging them to do more. And because we want the legacy You want to keep the legacy for generations and generations to come. What is the legacy without giving back? Which legacy are we going to be, or we want to keep rather, without giving back? So for me, giving back, it means just that. It means that you plant more seeds, right? You know, you giving back, it means for me, it means you teach others, so that whatever that you know won't die out in future and future to in years and years to come. So giving back, it means that it means love, it means teaching others, it means imparting knowledge. And for me, it's not even about money, right? Go fa motho thuto means more than giving back in money. So me imparting knowledge in others, imparting knowledge in communities, teaching them on how I came about this, and taking them through each and every step I took to be here means a lot to me. And it means whatever that I have learned, and like you see, from the other person, from wherever I learned the very same thing, it will never die. Instead, we are going to see the results we are hoping for, we are looking for. And it means success, you know, it means prosperity. So that's what giving means to me.
Thank you.
Legacy, success.
Prosperity for the whole community. I love that. And I think it's important because a lot of us are looking at what it is that I'm going to gain as opposed to what it is that the whole community is going to gain. But I don't want to take any shine away from the other panelists. If Karabo can just go on next to answer that question. Is it a purpose for you? Is it a need? Or is it just the way Yahoo it's king that guy
Okay, for me, I like the way the question came, the way you posed the question. For me, giving is a calling. But then wait until that calling becomes a purpose. So that's so me. It's a calling for me. But then now I made that calling my purpose. I serve a purpose when I give to people. Remember that a purpose is a sense of resolve or determination. But then if you are saying giving is a choice, it means now you don't have a calling for it, and then you haven't yet found your purpose. But then if you find your purpose in life, that's when you say giving is a purpose. And then there are those who have a calling of giving. There's this short there's this short kind of quote I used to say: efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. So there's no way you can say when you are giving and then you understand your purpose while you don't have a direction. So for me, calling, giving is a calling and a purpose for me. That's how short I want to put it.
Thank you. Thank you. I know.
Like that. We are writing a book, I'm telling you. We are writing a book. We're on that very question: purpose, calling, necessity, swag, slay. What is it for you, babes?
You know, I think my colleagues here have said it all. They wrapped it up so beautifully. There's no other better way to say it. Simple, straight to the point. It's a calling. It is calling, it's purpose. It's also understanding who is the giver of that, you know, because you cannot give from an empty vessel, from an empty cup. So you can only give when you understand the person who's in charge. And in this case, it's God. You know, in everything that you do, you need, pardon? Oh, in this case, in everything, as you give, you have to consult the giver of the purpose, which is your God, you know, because you when you give, you are planting the seed to whoever you are giving. And what type of seed do you want to plant? What type of giving are you empowering the next person, you know? So for me, giving is aligned with faith, because Ziyabuya.
You know,
You can't go around, oh no, I'll give. Sometimes next way. You know, sometimes you do not know how to give, because remember, you are that hope to these people. You are that light, you are that beacon to them, you know. So you always have to depend on God. You always have to trust. Your faith has to be on another level.
When you're you know what, Simphiwe, hold it right there, because I want to actually ask a question that we didn't include in the questions we sent to you. And maybe it was for such a reason as this, but we discussed this a lot with the whole team. What exactly does it take? You know, it's all good and well that we are out there, you know, doing projects, doing programs, running around, looking for funding, coming with food, blankets, sustainable programs. What does it actually take from you as a person with the calling? Simphiwe is still hot. I don't know if I should allow her to go first.
I think you know, if we look at it from a point of there's something in you that says give, right? And how much of that something in you is there because the need is greater than you alone as the individual?
How much is in the bank account?
How much is in the bank account? You know, that's what we are asking. What does it take?
What does it take? Do you want to?
That's why, so if I may come in, that's why I'm saying, hey, you need God. You need God, because this is no child's play, guys. We can glamorize it and make it noble. It is not easy, because sometimes your bank account is 0, but you need to help, you know, and that's when now your faith comes in, because now you have to go back to the giver of what? The purpose. To say, you have entrusted me with this vision. You have entrusted me with this purpose. So you need to make provision for this purpose. So it takes your time, it takes your spirituality, it takes your energy, it takes your mind sometimes, and it takes time away from your loved ones. Sometimes groceries from your own household. Sometimes money that belongs to your family to feed this purpose. So you need to, now personally, my experience has taught me, Guti, I cannot continue with this purpose without the creator, without the giver of this purpose, because I don't
even know if it's a thing you share, but like it's all in the mud sometimes. And we don't want to take away the shine of the fulfillment that comes during the doing and after the doing, when people are happy and the children or whoever is benefiting on the other end. There is just a different kind of joy that fulfills. But you know, we don't want to shy away from what actually it takes from us. Tsholofelo, you're agreeing a lot with the Simphiwe, so I'll give you an opportunity to add your part there.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I can totally relate. Like, I fully agree with Simphiwe. And for me as well, giving back also, it unlocks your capabilities, you know, because you won't see what you can do until you try and help someone else, you know. So in a way, you get to see and as human beings, man, we have an innate need to contribute to those around us, whether it comes in the form of something small like being there for a person, or contributing financially to, you know, a worthwhile cause. But we realize the importance of giving, you know, like I've had my colleagues there, I purpose the word purpose a leap way later, you know, and it's not about what we do for ourselves, but what we do for others. How can some people be content with everything, they have, and it doesn't really come from what we get, but simply what we give, and now for me personally, in as much as it takes away, we in giving. For I give a lot to an extent of a point where my family now reprimands me. Also, now you are even giving yourself away. You tend to forget
Just
yourself.
giving of
Who you
yours.
give,
Yeah.
you tend to
That's
give
true.
away more to an extent of even compromising way now in the process. So still, I wouldn't understand a scenario in which others don't help the community because now I believe it's my duty. I believe it's my duty, and it's really a need for me. I should give back, because when I was growing up, now my parents instilled how ke tshwanetse ke bereke ka teng and be thankful for anything e ke encountering or e ke acquiring. So if I had wanted something, I had to work for it, and they never let me forget gore you can't take anything from the earth during your time except experience ya gago.
Amen.
So it has never really mattered to me gore ke na le eng, but whom I can share it with.
That's
And
powerful.
some people,
Powerful.
yes, and some people fail to realize this. And now I will do everything in my power to make it known. Some have had everything in life. Ditla mo go bone handed to them on a silver platter. But the unprivileged, bane ba tshwanetse go iberekela twice as much just to have half of what others have. So a lot of people never know the right time to give back. But the truth is, there is absolutely no time to give back, or limit on when you can and cannot give back to community. So not giving back is a part of me. It's me, no matter how much I have or the little I make, if you truly want to help, give your time, not your money. Yes, money helps,
Thank you.
but
Thank you about
time
that.
does one better,
Yeah.
So
We were
that's
talking,
that.
we were talking earlier on, sorry, Tsholofelo, with Slow,
Okay.
and we were talking about giving time. And I'm glad that you are bringing up that giving time. And there is always something that you can give. My one is you can give your ears.
True.
To sit and listen to another person pour out their story, even if you don't have the slightest way of advice or help, that cleanses a soul. And that is your time. That is your ears. You could have been listening to someone else, but you chose to listen to another person. So I appreciate that comment about time. Karabo, in a long term, through your organization, what do you aim to achieve?
In what, in a long term?
Yeah, in the work that you are doing, what do you aim to achieve in your community? What is your vision?
Long-term vision.
Yeah.
There's a lot, but to put it simple,
yeah,
I would just like to see a community whereby it lives within certain values, like things like inclusiveness, things like unity, things like actually those two for me, they are core. I can even elaborate further because of, if you can check in this current state or this current world that we live in, we have lost so much whereby we can't even manage to identify ourselves. Right now, it's not easy for you to see, as much as they say Black people are united, but these days you can see that we are actually not.
Karabo,
it's a problem.
don't go Oprah on us. We kind of, you say, we
Yeah,
can't.
ngifuna ukungenelela ngisho.
Ngifuna
Akere-
the part. I like that. I want to, maybe I'm
Us black people,
Mm-hmm.
yes, us black people, we are well known for unity and inclusiveness, right?
Mm.
But then, because of what they were still talking about, actually, one thing that I like about this question, it goes back to what they were talking about right now in terms of what do you call this? The question that you just asked.
Yeah.
What it takes,
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So once you as an individual, you find that Uguti, you can't tap into your spiritual energy.
Mm.
If you
Yes.
can't have a conversation with your spiritual energy,
Mm.
I'm telling you, there is no way you can say you are woke, because of you have to have a certain level of consciousness for you to say
that
we
way,
are
yeah.
Karabo, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So as long as we have lost ourselves, for us to say our visions or what we would hope to achieve, it might be something greater, yes. But then for me, those little things, restoring that hope, restoring that unity, restoring that inclusiveness, I
Mm.
believe that if those 2 or 3 things come together,
Mm.
then they say, ke tau ja hloka seboka di feta ke nare e hlotse. Simply meaning
I'm gonna stop
yes.
this. No.
Let me explain. But I've told you this before.
What is that? But there's other people.
Okay. All right. It means, it simply
No,
means
it's just
that
simply yes.
people who cannot come together,
Mm-hmm.
even as simplest issue,
Mm.
will be difficult for them.
Okay.
Yes.
Speak in English, guys. Come on, Zulu.
Thank you.
Mina mase ngiqala
Yes.
ngishayeza ngakithi
So-
manje ngizoxakeka.
Awungawari nalapho ke ngisaya ke nalapho. But then for me, kahle, for me, when I speak about my ideal future, it's when you included that. Skills development, they will come. They will come because of we'll be doing it together as well. It's going to be easy for us to communicate. We'll be knowing each other, and Nati individually would know ourselves because of now your consciousness is woke. But then as long as we lost that, it's not easy for us to say we want this. That's why these days we'd say we have progress now in. Sometimes they're not enemies. They lost their senses.
Hey guys,
So-
that's deep.
This is the thing. I think that the first episode dealt a lot with this because we were discussing the African child, or rather the African person, and how much we've gone so far from who we are in pursuit of God knows what. And I think a lot of what Karabo is saying goes back to that. Uguti, who are we? We can
Yes.
be so many things out there, but it looks like we are losing the
Who we
core
are.
sense of who we are.
Yes, true.
And Karabo, I
'Cause
love what
now-
you are saying when you say that if you've lost yourself, how then can you be of benefit to another person? Because let me show my when there is Jesus say, what does it profit you to win the whole world and to lose yourself?
True.
And I think that's where you are. We want the world at our cost,
Yes.
at the cost of your soul.
Of our souls.
Yeah, all right. That's deep, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is.
Let's finish it to read. Listen, you wanted to add something there?
No. I'm in agreement. I'm in total agreement with Karabo. I'm in total agreement because I think for years within my ministry that I've been entrusted with, you haven't known and hadn't had the opportunity to work with me in some of our projects. I've always said my purpose is to live, is to love, is to serve, is to give. So in whatever one does, one must be able to live, give, serve, whatever it is that you're supposed to do. I need to be able. People must be able to receive from that overflow. So if I'm unable to do that, then it's a waste of time. I don't even have to go into the space that one has been entrusted with. So it goes back to answering the question, where do you see yourself? Where do you see your project or your organization in the next future? For me, I see the organization living, giving, serving, loving. Because if I'm not going to be able, if the people that I've been entrusted to work with, if my team are not representing those elements, then I have not fulfilled the purpose.
True.
And it was Simphiwe, guys. I've worked with her for a number of years. If I could define her, uhamba lapha nabo Abraham, kuthiwa
No, don't lie.
that girl. No, honestly, I feel there should be a book of Simphiwe when it comes to faith. The girl will cook the pots, okay? And when it comes to giving, she will empty out everything asaling in a lucha. So as kuluming in Ganewa, we know. So it's about corner in no time. In the book of Simphiwe,
If I was to tell you something, guys, I used to ask Lonnie, you are going to Simphiwe with a petrol, I'm like, I don't understand, And it's like, no, baby, but we have to do this. We have to do this. And guys, the calling that is in your life, we respect it, we appreciate it, and that's why you are here today talking about this important thing, or an important aspect of our lives, especially as African people, where we know that it takes a village to raise a child. And on that note, I want to ask something that I think we've all thought of, and is that in the process of running NGOs and giving and doing all these things, how do we protect the dignity of the beneficiaries?
Okay.
Yeah, you can go, Simphiwe.
Again, it goes back to what Karabo was saying. You protect the dignity of the beneficiary by reminding them who they are. You need to remind them who they are and whose they are. Because unfortunately, we are only in this world for a certain period of time. So you can only introduce people to their creator and for them to find their own self-identity and self-purpose. That's what will cover them, and that's what will protect them. Because we can try to glamorize it and say, we will hide their faces, we'll do this, no. Once they know who created them, once they have found their own purpose, they themselves will be able to protect themselves. But if they do not understand who they are and they do not understand who they come from, then it will be difficult, because we will build this project, we'll do this, we'll do that. But if people are not ready for the projects that we have, then it becomes a waste. And a person only becomes ready when they have identified who they are. And when they have an understanding of who created them, and knowing confidently and boldly, it's my situation, it's just a temporary situation. Because I will give you fish today. What happens tomorrow? What happens when I die? But the only thing I can give you, it's a reminder of who is your creator and who you are as an individual. And you can only find that by connecting with your creator. That's how you can
I can do that. I actually think Lendesho Simphiwe is something we can actually take back home, first with ourselves, then with our children and those who are close to us, and them understanding who they are. And then as we go out in the world and shine our light, it makes it easy for others to then say, "Hayibo, nami ngiyayifuna le nto engiyibona kuSimphiwe." I think it's very neglected. Abantu who are normally beneficiaries see themselves as victims, and most of the time they don't come out of that believing ukuthi somebody must come and help me. And not all the time will somebody come and help you. And our prayer is, when we come into contact with an individual who is in need, let us come into contact that one time, but whatever we impart, that person must be able to carry tomorrow and forever, and mustn't keep coming back and saying, "Aibo, Ghana, last year you came and you assisted with this. Last time you came and you said you were going to give us blankets, and now it becomes a burden." So I think it's a very important thing that is within all of our reach to just go out there, live out our light, so that we could allow and help others to find their light as well. Tsholofelo, do you have something to add so that we can move on to the next question?
So with regards to, I agree with Simphiwe, and I don't know if I should say unfortunately, but I have nothing to add on. But I fully agree, and we outlined it to the course. So I the way Simphiwe I believe that think is asking. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Ngifuna ukunikeza uThembakazi i-chance.
Yes.
Thembakazi, you can unmute yourself. Just ukuthi sikubingelele. I mean, we've been blabbing, going on and on without even actually saying a word to you. Thembakazi, are you able to hear us? Okay, doesn't seem like uThembakazi can hear us, but okay, Nakoge, I can see you unmuted. Hi, Themba.
Hi, Ninjani.
Philo njani kusazana?
Ngiyaphila. Is my line clear?
Yeah.
Kakhulu.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I'm just grateful for being in the platform with the like-minded people. Ngicela nje highlight one thing before I go on.
Okay.
I'm a flyer directed us to a Facebook page, and from that I was to connect until I had to search Zoom. So I believe a lot of people would have loved to participate about the opportunity because of that. All right.
Technical is working on it. Okay, thank you for that, Thembakazi. We're fixing it.
All right. Yes, I've been blessed, very, very blessed. Ukuzwa abantu abakhuluma language that I speak as well, especially when it comes to giving. I believe giving is a grace that comes from God, and out of everything, was the grace to give. So I've learned a lot, and I believe at some point we will be working together, especially from Iso. When you said Iso, yes.
Oh, Iso, okay, no, we did.
I realize I'm on the right platform because there's something that I'm doing with AMA students. I say, well, I'm waiting for permission with AMA students as a TVET.
Yeah.
From the side. So that's why I'm saying I believe in future we will meet again and maybe have a chance to work together.
Thembakazi, thank you so much. Because we don't have your contacts, please just on the chat, if you don't mind, just send us your contact number so that we can going forward. I'm so happy just to represent.
All right. On that note, at least Slowly is feeling.
Right. Karabo got my contacts.
I beg yours?
I was saying Karabo has got my contacts.
Oh, okay.
Because yes.
Oh, figure no Karabo.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to go on to the next question. We are almost at the end of the show. The next question, Bengso Telanje, Uguti, each person finish off the sentence. Remember, we said that we're discussing the hand that gives. So what I want to hear from you guys is the hand that gives does what? So you're gonna finish the sentence a hand that gives, and you're gonna put in what it means to you. Ngizoqala ngoKarabo, and then I'll move on to Tsholofelo. Kanti ufuna ukungilinda. This is what- it's in front of the people. Karabo.
So I can go.
Yeah.
Okay. For me to complete the, I would say, angazi ukuthi it's a code or it's a what, the hand that gives. For me, when I complete it, I say it gathers. Ka Sepedi ba re, go fa ke go fega. If I give to 10 or 20 people, those people, they'll be closer to me. Those people, they'll be bound to me. I will be the center. Remember, as a servant, a public servant, I'll be the center of that group. Then I'll be a source to them. And minagim, my source, it will be Umdali. As Simphiwe mentioned, Uguti, this thing is bigger than us. There should be there should be a place where we get more from so that we can give. So for me, it's like that. The hand that gives gathers.
I think that not a quote? That is so powerful, so short, precise, and like
The hand
like
that gives.
gathers. Hallelujah. I put the sweat to oh Karabo Mohlala, you show back with the hand that gives gathers. Thank you so much for that. I love it, Karabo. Tembagazi, would you like to add on that? The hand that gives?
I think I agree with Karabo Nam, because the more you give is the more you receive. The Bible says, when you give, you receive a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. So you never run out. I remember Simphiwe mentioned, sometimes you give out of nothing. You know, out of a bank, out of an empty bank account, will total a situation whereby you have to give and the resources will be available. Open to sale with a zero again. Or whatever purpose you wanted to give towards, be fulfilled. So it really gathers. I agree with Karabo on that note.
Basisa, they go by side and silt. Tsholofelo, uSimphiwe ngathi unenkinga ye-network la ikhona. On that last one, Tsholofelo, the hand that gives. Uqhubeke lapho.
Okay, for me, the hand that gives never lacks, right? So if you are helping someone and expecting something in return, you are doing business, not kindness. So the hand that gives, if it's from your heart, if it's for a purpose that you want to serve and you want to serve it without any conditions, you will never lack anything. And as I said before, not everything is about money, you know. In as much as we need money, but we give in so many ways. So for me, I think so many times the term or the term give, it automatically relates to also material thing. Like I mentioned before, it's not even about, sometimes it's not about material, it's not about financially, you know, but now your time, you know, the knowledge that you have, imparting it to others, you'll never lose anything. So, and as I've mentioned as well, you get to realize as well your capabilities as you give back to others. So you also learn a lot, you discover a lot about you, discover a lot about the people you are giving back to. So the hand that gives never lacks.
Siyawabhala ama-quotes, siyawaregister, bese siyawa trademark. Kube kanye, kube that's deep quotes. Thank you so much, Tsholofelo. I saw something interesting on social media where a gentleman was standing in the middle of the road in Jena, maybe on the side of the road, uphethe a placard, ubhale ukuthi, if you're going through something, come, let me give you a hug.
Give me a hug.
You know?
I saw it.
And I
I
was
saw
like, okay,
it.
I would generally be embarrassed to do that. But also particularly because I have a lot of people whom I can just ask for a hug without explaining. But that just struck me as another way of saying, listen, we know Guti, we are carrying this brave and beautiful and slaying faces. But internally, there's so much that's happening. And sometimes all you just need is a hug. So I hear that, Tsholofelo. Thank you so much for that. It doesn't always have to be material, and people are always looking at that. Oh, NPO, Rutke Foundation, you want money again? And we're like, no, we don't always want money. Yes, we do want money to steer a lot of things, but sometimes we need services. Sometimes we need your experiences, your skills, and things of that nature. So thank you so much for that. And I think that question, that answer leads me very well to the next question. Ebu Zuguti, what are some of the creative ways, the not so obvious ways that you guys can share with maybe somebody who's going to be listening to this recording? Guti, listen, I this burning desire to do something to help, but I don't have money, I don't have clothes, I don't have anything that I can give Gomunyu Muntu. What would you guys say is another way, creative way of giving? Anyone? Lesejo, starting with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
For
Namhlanje
me,
kista kusuka raw.
yeah. For me, what I have found to be helpful to people is that taking time and listening, and especially to kids, because parents are so busy trying to provide a meal, to keep a roof over these children's heads and all that. So if a child wants to talk to you, if you see a child that's sad, and you can spare a moment and sit down and listen.
Sure.
That time that you spend with that child might be the very thing that will help her or help him to go through whatever they are going through and know that there's a better tomorrow. So that's what I like to do. I like to listen, and in my listening, I don't always have the answer. I can just give a hug.
And yes, intentionally, because there's always people gathering around Lesejo. And he's just like, and not saying a word.
No, but guys, you all know how much do you pay a psychologist?
800 rand.
A lot.
It's actually 1.2.
So that's cutting up
A lot.
Okay. And they will sit on a couch and say, so what do you think? You tell the problem and you tell the answer and you leave your money.
But when you do it for free, God bless this hand that gives this ear. That's busy giving. Karabo, of course, you are next to say, what would you say is another way of giving besides a ration and a blanket? Mr. Brian?
You said who? Me?
You.
Oh, okay. I so wish the world could see this concept in this way. But like giving is not about making donations or having to give money and all that and all this. Giving and it's about making a difference. Sometimes you might find someone who just want an ear. Sometimes you just find someone who needs to hear someone saying, how are you? When last did you ask umntwana Koguti, how are you today? Someone just needs to be told, Koguti, you are beautiful. Those little gestures, they are bigger to someone else. They might be little to us as we're saying it, but someone out there needs to hear them. But as long as you are failing to give those kind of gestures to people, then there's no way you can give. There's no way, because you might. So it's more like that, giving support.
Yeah.
Emafikeng.
Okay. Right, okay.
Led by Datika. Okay, Tsholofelo. Any other ways
Yes,
of creative ways of giving, babes?
Being emotionally available, like we have already mentioned, or go bua le motho, just saying a word of encouragement or sharing some sort of your life experience. Le motho o mongwe. O ka savor your own life or the person's life, and that's giving back. In a taxi, o sutela wa emela mogolo a dule mo fatshe, and then you sacrifice your seat for mogolo a dule fatshe o eme ka maoto, because it's enough for you. You can withstand the distance to town. It's giving back, like little things, man, little things, complimenting someone, like Karabo has already mentioned, complimenting someone, just making that particular person feel good about themselves, making someone laugh, just cracking a joke to someone. You never know. We are going through a lot. Referring back to the post in the Facebook post, or if you are going through something, come, I give you a hug, just cracking a joke. You don't know how you've brightened up someone's day, but because of saying that or cracking that particular joke, you've telling your story, sometimes it can even be life-saving for you as well, for the person hearing the testimonies. So it's the little things, really. So
Thank you, Tsholofelo. Thank you so much. And I'm glad you spoke about the social media. I wanted to say also one thing that I always ask myself, especially when I post, is Uguti, how is it going to be received on the other hand? Sometimes I'm posting for myself. Sometimes I'm posting to just brighten the day. Is it a joke? Is it a motivation? Like yesterday, I posted something that says, "Unga give up, and that speaks to me as well. When I want to give up, I'm like, who is going to carry this human being? So even in our posting, in our social life, like go Instagram, go interneting, we are posting positivity. We are posting things that are helping people to say, if Uslondi can do it, I can do it. So thank you so much for that. And we're about to wrap it up, guys. This cat is no longer on our side. Should I make this the last question, babes? Do you think this one? I think so. Do you want to ask it?
All right. I think I'll actually give the honors to Tembagasu on this one.
Yes. Fix your mic, sis.
At the end of your journey, what will make you feel that you have left your mark and done all you could have possibly done?
Again?
At the end of your journey, what
Yes.
would make you feel that you left your mark and done all that you could have done?
It is identifying a need where I am in my sphere of influence, making sure that I reach out to those needs. My definition of success is, yes, identifying a need, making sure you reaching out to it, ensuring that you are leaving the world a better place than how you met it,
Yeah.
At the moment, it's the lives of Emashishing, it's the lives of people, Emashishing, especially the youth. if I can cause about a change, a positive change in their mindset, in their way of living, and the way they see the future, I believe I would have made a huge mark.
No, thank you so much for that. Yes, it's I say that to my kids, ne? Because we're trying to instill a lot of discipline and hygiene and all these things. Uguti, when you enter a room, don't leave it in a worse condition than you found it. Mark figure wena, akacaci ukuthi kade kufike usimangmang, and now it's brighter, it's better. You know, wherever you go, carry that with you. Guti, my role here is to make it better. Don't come and figure and leave things untidy. When you come in, you're qoqa. When you come in, you're the light. So I love that a lot. Engati, I'm sure God, you're already on the path in doing that. You're already on path, and may God bless your hustle, bless your purpose. At the end, I've done it all. And Tsholofelo.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Yes.
And Tsholofelo, yes, babes. Your journey, when it ends, what is the mark?
I would want like I've mentioned before, at the end, I would want to have inspired more young girls to be in this industry, and I would, because we are facing these climate changes, they are affecting us all, and I was attending some seminar, and then Vanibam like, how does your company, like, how is it aligned to the SDGs, right? So at the end of the journey, I would want ke be ke rutile batho ba bantsi, ke be ke share the knowledge that I have, so as to alleviate the poverty ba rotlhe. I want re tshele botshelo bo bo healthy, achieving the food security, the improved nutrition, and also promoting sustainable agriculture, like the SDGs that wana di bua, ensuring availability and sustainable management, metsi and sanitation for all. So I want to, at the end of my journey, impartile the very same knowledge so as to going forward, so many things we are facing. Like I said, I'm imparting the knowledge so as to generations and generations to come. We are paving the way so as to in a more clear for those that will be coming after them. So that's really what I'm hoping for at the end of the journey.
Thank you, Tsholofelo. And go tla nna jalo because botshelo bo mo, and please continue doing that. We love agriculture in this home, and we believe. I just saw a post actually from my doctor today, who was saying that people need to plant more gardens. People need to eat healthy. It's so difficult to see how many people live to buy food, and to buy food that is not nutritional. So that calling is important. Please keep praying about it. Modimo a go kganyisetse. Karabo?
Okay, mine is
Garela, o tswale.
When I say I left a mark, it's when I managed to do only one thing, building an empire of change makers. Remember, the reason why I would want to achieve that is because there's a say that says each one of us can make a difference. But then if we want change, we have to come together. So if I can work on the element of togetherness, I believe that we'll build a nation of active citizens, change makers, and then that will breed a better tomorrow.
Re lebogile bagaetsho. Ka ona mafoko ao. On that note, that's deep. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your effort. We thank you for the knowledge and your lives that you have shared with us tonight.
Effort without direction. We thank you for your direction. I was wondering.
Yes. Mafoko ohle, bagaetsho. We are really grateful.
No, thank you guys. I mean, I had a great time. I hope you guys learned something, something sparked, an idea came. I mean, may just the purposes be fulfilled. May we no longer be fearful to live out who we are. And at the end of the journey, may we all just say, Yazi, we did it. Yazi, we just did it, guys. As black as we are, as whatever as we are, but we did it because we wouldn't want to come to the end and live our regrets and say, if only we had done it. Some of you are still young. So you guys, we are leaving the baton with you all to continue the movement. No, honestly, camera is to see
iPhone.
Thank you so much, guys.
In her absence, we thank you for your contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, we will load the previous video for Tito Khan. We would like you to share it with your network, and this one will be shared later on. Thank you very much.
Facebook,
Yeah,
social media, but we'll do it. We're getting there one step at a time. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Bonga thina.
So, khuluma ngendaba yesonto.